going on? What's happening? I remember a very long time ago, I witnessed a battle between DMX and another guy. I don't remember his name. It was in a park. This was back in, I want to say like 1990, 91. And it was in a park out in New York. Um, in this place called the Goat. It's like a handball. It was a nice park. Well, a park where you had handball courts and also another part that had basketball courts. And it was actually known as Rocksteady Park, like 97th, 98th Street in Amsterdam. I think the school that's also next to it was PS 163. Long story short, there was some type of party that was taking place in the park, what they used to call park jams. And Funkmaster Flex was actually on the 1 and 2s DJing. And at one point during the set, there was a battle. DMX had a battle. It was the first time I didn't see this man before. He looked the same too. He sported a baldy, with the sideburns, and he had on Ewings. Back in the days, he had on Ewings shorts with that silver chain around his neck. Even back then, I remember that's what made him distinct. And the reason why I remember his name, because of his presentation and those initials, DMX, is something you can't forget. So the battle happened. He was this guy, I don't know, it was like some other guy, but DMX came by himself from Yonkers, and the guy went first, whatever. It was on the microphone. The guy went first, and it was DMX's turn. DMX flamed him, and I think it was another round. So like today they use rounds, right? So I think it was only 2 rounds actually, not a 1-rounder, maybe a 2-round battle. Needless to say, the guy went second again in the second round. He didn't go second. He went again in the second round. He went first in the second round. DMX went second, flamed him, and threw the microphone down on the floor. The crowd went in an uproar, and he left the park. I'll never forget. And in those days, this was before the CD era. So, you had promoters or kids, with backpacks, giving out not CDs, cassette tapes, singles. And I think one of them was from Tribe Called Quest. They were dropping their second album. And, or maybe it was the third, maybe it was Midnight Marauder. But they were dropping one of their early projects, and they were giving out CD tapes, not CDs, cassette tapes. I want to say it was probably a maxi single. It was cool. It was real cool. The point of what I'm saying is, since then, of course, DMX became a phenom, a superstar, traveled the world and everything. And I'm not saying that his beginning started in battle rap, but that's how I was first exposed to battle rap. I mean, I always heard about Kool Moe Dee and, Brucey B and, LL Cool J and the predecessors before DMX, back in the 80s. But that was the first battle that I witnessed. And ever since then, I've loved it, because it caught my attention. And the problem now is a lot of things in the battle rap culture is not celebrated. Well, it kind of is and promoted, but what I mean, things that are not celebrated, I'm talking about, actually encouraging young people to use battle rap as a platform to for expression in whatever way that's healthy and positive, so that the world can feel and the world can touch what they're trying to, the messages that they're trying to give, and so that they can be able to continue to feed their families, and grow, and everything could pretty much flourish, and so that battle rap can transcend and reach the masses, and it could be a little bit more respected. I remember even in the late 90s, when there was a commercial with Sprite or Mountain Dew. I remember Sprite had a commercial, or supported a commercial where rappers like KRS-One was in the ring, some sort of, and rapping against another MC. I may be wrong though, but it's evolved. Battle rap has evolved. It's evolved tremendously, and needs to continue to evolve, and it needs to continue to evolve in a way that's positive. Like now, with the advent of technology, with the advent of the internet, you have social media, social network, all these different internet platforms and media outlets that can actually reach everyone, reach people, and the audience grows more wider and broader. You have podcasts, you have all these things that I've been plugged in the whole time. I've watched it grow, I've watched it evolve. I just now, after this weekend and watching the match between Murder Mook and Averb, I realized, what, this is something that's bigger than what they even know. And it's actually big in a good way, because it's creating conversation. Just I just hope that it continues in a positive way, where it helps other people, where it gives people hope, young people hope. I'm talking about something that happened, the battle that I'm talking about happened in early 90s, 90, 91. A lot of these battle rappers now probably, the great ones now probably were very young in age, or even young, or not even born yet. And look at where it's come to today. I'm definitely old school when it comes to it, but I like quality material. And this weekend just shows you that there's quality material out there. Some people say, it's still underground, but to an extent it may still be, but there's been mainstream exposure. And for whatever it's worth, I think it's a positive thing. I think it's dope. I think it's good. I think it needs to continue. I think it needs to be promoted where, people from the block, they could know, kids who have come from marginal, upbringings, and who are struggling, who are poor, who come from modest and meager upbringings. They have that as an option, at least to develop their writing skills, where it promotes reading, it promotes education, promoting writing, poetry, these things, music, songwriting, these different artistic levels of creativity and expression, so that they can flourish, so that people can find a way to find themselves, tap into their creativity and expose it, and touch the world, touch the masses. You never know how far you can get. You got these young battle rappers who've traveled the world. It's incredible. I think that's positive. There's always going to be the opposite. There's always good and bad in everything, where you have folks who, try to, I guess, become adverse or throw salt in the game, and there'll be negativity. But that's what people should use to fuel their fire and their passion, so that they don't give up and continue to move forward. That's how I see it. I'm just on the outside looking in, but at the same time I'm tuned in, because I know what's going on, because I keep my ears to the street in a way. And what's great about it is the internet. Again, there's good material, there's good product out there, and it should be supported. It should be supported and encouraged, from young and old, from young generation, old generation, and back to young, old, back, whatever you want, whatever. It should just continue to thrive and grow, because you never know how far it can get, because it's already touched people all over the world. So imagine something that started from the streets, something that started from the block, became something that's international and global. It's powerful stuff, man. That's powerful. That's what it is. So I just like to promote what's good, not what's negative, because there's always going to be negative. There's always going to be somebody who goes against the grain, or people who have a mission to go against the grain and disrupt whatever good you got going on. But if you have a voice, or if you have a will to push forward, if you have a will or desire to use your creative capabilities to explore and experience life and share it on paper, or share it on a track, or share it on a canvas, or share it in a book, or share it through your, the theater, or whatever type of artistic medium that you use, go for it, man. Go for it, man. You know, I prefaced this by talking about how I saw DMX at a battle, and he does, struggle. He has his life struggles like everyone else, but his work, you can't take any of his work away from him. So that's one of the best parts about this whole thing. What I'm saying, you do what you do to the best of your ability, and no one can take that away from you, regardless. Peace.